Born in 1493 as Philippus Aureolus Theophrastus Bombastus von Hohenheim in Maria Einsiedeln, Switzerland, Paracelsus emerged into a world on the cusp of the Renaissance, a cultural and intellectual awakening that had spread from 14th century Italy to northern Europe by the early 16th century. The only child of a physician father and a hospital matron mother, his exact birth date, possibly November 11th or December 17th, remains uncertain due to calendar discrepancies. Under his father's guidance, he cultivated an early passion for medicine, alchemy, and nature, roaming the nearby mountains and springs, laying a foundation that he would later expand upon. His formal education began at the University of Basel at age 16, where he focused on alchemy, surgery, and medicine, and was influenced by alchemists such as Isaac the Hollander, who introduced him to the three elementary constituents, salt, sulfur, and mercury, which Paracelsus further developed. He also studied under Abbot Trithemius, a noted adept in occult sciences, and Sigismund Fugger, gaining knowledge in mineralogy and chemistry. As humanism, a Renaissance movement emphasizing individual inquiry and classical learning, gained traction through figures like Erasmus, Paracelsus pursued further education at universities like Vienna and Ferrara, earning a medical doctorate by 1515. Yet, he rejected the rigid academic traditions of the time, favoring practical experience and declaring,
"The universities do not teach all things, so a doctor must seek out old wives, gypsies, sorcerers, wandering tribes, old robbers, and such outlaws and take lessons from them. A doctor must be a traveler. Knowledge is experience. He who would explore nature must tread her books with his feet. Scripture is explored through its letters. Nature, from land to land. Every land is a leaf in the Codex Naturae."
His formative years unfolded against a politically fragmented Europe of states and principalities, enabling his extensive travels: Germany, Italy, France, the Netherlands, Denmark, Sweden, and Russia. Between 1513 and 1521, he was captured by Tartars and taken to the Khan, later studying Eastern occult knowledge in Constantinople. In 1521, he reportedly acquired the Philosopher's Stone from Solomon Trismosinus, marking a pinnacle in his alchemical pursuits. By 1525, Paracelsus returned to Germany, his reputation growing for remarkable cures using mineral medicines refined through alchemy, a practice he elevated amid the Renaissance shift toward empirical observation. Medicine in the early 16th century clung to medieval humoral theory, balancing blood, phlegm, and bile per Galen and Avicenna, but Paracelsus challenged this orthodoxy, aligning with the era's spirit of questioning authority. In 1527, he secured a professorship in physics, medicine, and surgery at the University of Basel, where he lectured in German and famously burned Galen's and Avicenna's texts, an audacious act reflecting the humanist push for new ideas, though it forced his departure in 1528 amid controversy. He introduced chemical remedies like mercury for syphilis, advancing pharmacology with his maxim,
"All things are poison, and nothing is without poison. The dose alone determines what is not poison."
In his work, the book concerning the tincture of the philosophers, Paracelsus claimed that this alchemical preparation could cure a multitude of diseases, stating,
"So then, the tincture of the philosophers is a universal medicine, and consumes all diseases, by whatsoever name they are called, just like an invisible fire. The dose is very small, but its effect is most powerful. By means thereof I have cured the leprosy, venereal disease, dropsy, the falling sickness, colic, scab, and similar afflictions. Also lupus, cancer, noli me tangere, Latin for do not touch me, fistulas, and the whole race of internal diseases, more surely than one could believe."
He developed the concept of the philosopher's mercury, a substance capable of transmuting and fixing other metals, central to his alchemical practice. Paracelsus also associated metals with specific organs in his medical treatments, using gold sulfur for heart ailments and silvers for brain disorders, showcasing his innovative approach to therapeutics. His treatise on the minor sickness pioneered occupational medicine, linking lung diseases and ulcers to mining hazards, a leap beyond traditional views that blamed internal imbalances. Among his published works, Wundarznei und der Chirurgen Handwerkung, 1503, stands out as an important treatise on surgery and wound care, exemplifying his commitment to practical medical knowledge. He outlined 4 pillars of medicine: philosophy, love of wisdom; astronomy, spiritual influences; alchemy, transformation; and virtue, the physician's spiritual power, and identified 5 disease causes: external forces, poisons, constitutional factors, spiritual influences, and divine will. The printing press, invented by Gutenberg around 1440 and producing over 20 million volumes by 1500, amplified such revolutionary ideas, ensuring Paracelsus's works, many published posthumously, reached a wide audience. His practical successes, like curing elephantiasis in Nuremberg, often without charge for the poor, underscored his innovative approach in a time ripe for change. Paracelsus viewed medicine as a divine calling, asserting,
The physician stands in for God in bodily diseases, administering on his behalf.
a belief rooted in the Renaissance blend of science and spirituality. He wove biblical teachings into his philosophy, emphasizing faith, prayer, and imagination, and wrote,
God commands, love thy neighbor as thyself, and love God above all. To love God is to love his works.
his sevenfold human constitution, encompassing the physical body, ethereal essence, life force, sidereal body, thought, spirit, and universal spirit, merged material, astral, and divine elements. Central to his alchemical philosophy were the three principles: mercury, spirit, sulfur, soul, and salt, body, which he believes to compose all substances. These principles represented the spiritual, animating, and physical aspects, respectively, reflecting his holistic view of nature and the human being. He saw nature as a living entity, with humanity as a microcosm of the macrocosm, describing the light of nature as a guide to its hidden depths. Central to his philosophy was the concept of Yliaster, also known as the ether, akasha, prana, cosmic breath, and many other names, the primordial substance from which the four elements, air, fire, water, and earth, emerge. These elements, both physical and spiritual, form the basis of all creation, reflecting his belief in the interconnectedness of the material and divine. Collecting herbs and minerals from mountains and using springs for healing, he affirmed,
The art of healing springs from nature, not the physician.
he believed in elementals, gnomes, earth, undines, water, sylphs, air, and salamanders, fire, guarding natural treasures, and explored astral phenomena, suggesting the sidereal body connected with the universal mind during sleep for prophetic dreams. Cautioning against necromancy, he described elemental beings as soulless, yet seeking human union through sacred bonds, reflecting a worldview that bridged mysticism and the emerging scientific curiosity of his era. After leaving Basel in 1528, Paracelsus resumed his nomadic life, supported by Europe's patchwork of states and a patronage system that offered refuge despite his clashes with authorities. He visited Colmar in 1528, Nuremberg 1529 to 1530, and eventually settled in Salzburg under Duke Ernst of Bavaria's protection. He died on September 24, 1541, at age 48, in a modest room at the White Horse Inn in Salzburg, under mysterious circumstances hinting at rival foul play. Days earlier, on September 20th, he drafted his will. His body was first buried at St. Sebastian's graveyard, then reinterred near St. Philippi Neri's chapel in 1572 with a monument. A legend claims his astral body awoke post-mortem, living on as an adept in Asia, subtly guiding disciples. His legacy, preserved and spread by the printing press, revolutionized medicine by integrating chemistry, foreshadowing germ theory, and inspiring modern pharmacology and toxicology. Compiled by followers like John Huser, 1545 to 1601, his works endure as a testament to a visionary who thrived in the Renaissance's ferment of ideas, patronage, and technological progress. Posthumously, Paracelsus's influence expanded significantly, founding new schools of thought in medicine and alchemy. He inspired the Rosicrucian movement, and his followers venerated him with titles such as German Hermes and philosopher Trismegistus, reflecting his esteemed status in both occult and scientific circles. The enduring fascination with Paracelsus is exemplified by the efforts of 19th century scholars like Dr. Constantine Hering, who, over 50 years, assembled a comprehensive collection of Paracelsus's works, including rare editions, commentaries, and translations as cataloged in 1881. This collection not only preserved Paracelsus's writings, but also included materials such as portraits and a photograph of his skull, reflecting the ongoing scholarly and historical interest in his life and contributions. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and subscribe to my channel for more content on interesting people and the symbolism throughout human history. Your support means a lot and helps me create more videos like this. See you next time.